today's class is going to be about ending well and pausing and being present in this moment and pausing and appreciating, pausing and celebrating, whatever words resonate with you. But before we move on to New Year's, I wanted to pause and take a moment to end well. I often talk about transitioning well, and transitioning well is about ending well and beginning well. And New Year's, we focus so much on the beginning, but we don't focus on the end. So my invitation this morning is to focus on ending well, ending intentionally, pausing and choosing mindfully how you would like to end this year before we move on to the next thing. Our tendency is to move on. And so this practice this morning is a practice of pausing before we move on and transitioning well in the broader scheme. So find your sit bones and connect them down into the earth beneath you. Take a moment if you need to and move the flesh of your seat out of the way. Find your ischial spines and connect them downward, root them downward, stretch them downward. Find that spot of centeredness and groundedness and calm and peace, quiet and stillness, whichever one of those words resonates. You can settle, you can arrive. Do what feels good to you. Notice those sit bones. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward and stack your spine tall all the way up towards the sky. Reach the crown of your head towards the sky and take in a long, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, releasing, letting go, and arriving. One more deep cleansing inhale. As you exhale, drop your shoulders. And as we begin, turn your palms open towards the sky, if that feels okay to you, in a receptive and open position. And my invitation here with this breath is to notice with the breath how far you have come this year, not where you'd like to go, but how far have you come? Breathing in all of the things you have done, the places you've been. And exhale, just enjoy it. Let it seep in on the exhale. Breathing in all the sunrises and sunsets that you saw, experienced, loved. And as you breathe out, let them seep in and percolate around, enjoy them again. Breathing in all the beautiful times that you laughed and smiled. And as you exhale, enjoy. And breathing in all of the love that you felt. And exhale, enjoying that. Breathing in the hugs that you enjoyed. And letting it go. And perhaps the places you traveled, the nature you experienced, the dolphins you saw, the pelicans you saw, the waves you saw, perhaps a swim in the ocean that you had, breathing all of that in, letting it in and letting yourself enjoy it, receive it, and appreciate it. Exhale, let it out. And pausing here for a moment, bring a hand to heart and another hand atop. And allow this sense of appreciation. Appreciation being different than gratitude. Gratitude has a bit of indebtedness to it. Appreciation is wonder, excitement, inspiration. Letting appreciation for the sunsets, the sunrises, the love, the laughter, the smiles, the nature, the new friends that you met, all the yoga that you practiced, giving yourself a moment to acknowledge and appreciate it. And for many of us, this pause to appreciate might feel uncomfortable. Let it feel uncomfortable and with intention, enjoy it. On the other side of discomfort is freedom, fun, joy, all of the things shifting. Letting yourself enjoy those good things. And with this hand to heart, also appreciate yourself for having made those things happen, for showing up for them, for being present for them, taking agency and ownership and acknowledging yourself for your role in all of the beautiful things that have happened this year. And if that feels uncomfortable, same thing. Just let it in. And you can acknowledge that you at least planned the vacation or you went on the vacation if it feels hard to take credit. But perhaps practice. What you practice grows. Practice taking credit for all the amazing things you created, shared, enjoyed, worked hard on. Allowing yourself to be proud and to celebrate for a moment. Charlie Mackesy, in my favorite book, at the end, the last page says the end, and the end is crossed out, and it says, look how far we've come. And so my invitation in this moment is to appreciate how far you've come. Appreciate yourself, appreciate the wonder of the world, the wonder of the beautiful raindrops, or the sunshine on glistening snow, whatever you have, wherever you are. Taking a moment to appreciate it and your role in creating it and having it and showing up for it. Pausing and being present, pausing and celebrating, pausing and appreciating, pausing to acknowledge, and pausing to allow. Letting all of that into that heart space under that bottom hand, pressing the heel of your hand into the heart space, sealing it in, taking in an inhale right into that pocket behind the heart space, pressing the palm of the hand into it, sealing this goodness into that heart space to carry forth, and exhale, release, and let it go. Bring your hands to heart center, rubbing your palms together, creating warmth and heat. And enjoying that, pressing your thumbs into your sternum and setting an intention for this moment, whether it is appreciation, pride, could be gratitude, or compassion, acknowledgement, noticing how far you've come. Letting this be a moment where you end well. What would that look like for you? Practicing ending well is key to transitioning well and key to beginning well. So not skipping ahead, but pausing here to, with intention, end well. What does that look like for you? Take in another inhale through your nose and an exhale through your mouth, and lower your hands and let the light in. Giving yourself a moment here to end the meditation part well and transition well into the beginning. Noticing that when you do that, how good it feels. Flip your palms open for a moment and letting in that appreciation, celebration, pride, acknowledgement. Wiggle your fingers, just holding it softly, lightly, not grasping, not resisting. Taking in an inhale, once again, right down through the back of your esophagus, all the way down into your belly. And a huge exhale, letting it go. Bring your hands down by your sides. Scrunch your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Drop your occiput into the shoulders. Give yourself a beautiful massage. Let yourself enjoy that for a moment. Squeeze it tight. Exhale, lower your shoulders down and take a moment to appreciate that and how good it feels. One more, scrunch the shoulders all the way up. Occiput tilts back into the shoulders. Looking skyward if it's okay for your neck. Tight, tight, tight. Exhale, release, and enjoy. Pausing once again. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky, palms face one another. Exhale, drop your right hand towards the floor, spread your fingers wide, equal pie shapes, left hip grounds downward, left arm reaches over the left ear with grace. Bend your right elbow and open the left ribs here, huge and full, breathing into every nook and cranny. Noticing how far you and they have come, perhaps how much more deeply you can breathe if you've been practicing with me for a while. Inhale right into the lung space, the fan of the ribs open. And a huge exhale, appreciating how far you and your lungs have come this year. Press into your right hand, reach the right hand up, both arms reach tall. Inhale, lengthen both side bodies. Appreciate how far you can stretch. Perhaps it's farther than when you began. Perhaps your shoulders are reaching taller. Your sit bones are grounding more deeply. Your belly's engaged more fully. Exhale, drop your shoulders and notice how amazing the shoulder drop feels. Inhale, reach your fingers tall, tall, tall. Once again, lengthen. Exhale, left hand lands on the earth. Spread 5 fingers wide. Place them on the earth. Right hip grounds downward. Right arm gracefully extends over the right ear. Bend your left elbow and breathe into every nook and cranny of the right rib cage and right waist. Taking a moment to notice how much more open perhaps they are due to this practice of yoga. Breathing out, breathing in. And if it works for you, gaze over that right shoulder and appreciate that flexibility and movement that you may have now. Another huge inhale as you gaze over the shoulder. And exhale, let it go. Press into the left hand, reach both arms up towards the sky, interlace your fingers, flip the palms over, reach towards the sky, do a little shimmy, reach tall, tall, tall. Inhale, slight arch back. Exhale, round forward, suck your navel back, press your palms forward, crown of the head reaches forward, breathing into your back and your ribs and your lungs. Exhale, flush it out all the way through your hands out towards the screen, wherever in front of you. One more huge inhale into every nook and cranny of the back body and the shoulders, pressing the palms forward. Exhale, let it out. Inhale, slight arch up towards the sky. Exhale, open your arms towards the side walls. Press the palms into the side walls. Flex your wrists, spread your fingers wide. Noticing that aliveness and energy in your fingers as you do that. Pausing here, noticing a time during the year where you felt alive, like these fingers, acknowledging and appreciating those moments where you did come alive, where you found the things that energized you. Spreading those fingers wide, 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 palms open, wrists flexed, forearms engaged. Pinch your shoulder blades, everything working, feeling alive, letting the energy shift. Exhale, release the shoulders, relax your hands, lower your hands by your side, roll your shoulders out 3 times, gifting yourself the movement, rolling back and rolling forward. And a pause here to notice how you feel. Perhaps you've come a long way in allowing yourself to notice how you feel. We were trained not to notice how we feel, particularly in medicine, but also as women. And giving yourself a chance to appreciate how you feel, what feels good. Take your fingers, interlace them behind your sacrum, press your fists towards the floor, elbows straight, shoulders down and back, chest puffs out, heart is open and light, breathing into everything that's stretching here. Exhale, drop your chin to chest, release the neck, enjoy. A moment here with your chest puffed forward, to connect with this idea of be feeling proud. Thinking of one thing that happened this year that you felt proud of. One thing you did well, not that happened that was good, but that you did well. Breathing it in through this squunched up neck, all the way into your belly. Exhale, drop your chin a tiny bit more towards your chest. Release the neck. Bring your chin back to shoulder height, release your hands, shake them out. Stretch your arms wide once again to a T. Spread your fingers wide. Wrap your arms in front. We're going to come into eagle arms, right elbow under left. Cross your elbows, palms come towards you. Bring your thumbs together, palms together. Inhale, lift your elbows up to shoulder height and pause here. Noticing perhaps that this is more accessible than it used to be for some of you. And if not, maybe it's not meant to be. Inhale, lift your shoulders up an inch and enjoy. Exhale, bring the shoulders, elbows down to shoulder height. Inhale, lift your elbows up. Exhale to shoulder height. Pause at shoulder height, press your elbows in either direction and notice the sensations in the back between the scapula and enjoy, and only do what feels good. Notice if you're better at noticing what feels good. Relax the shoulders, relax the elbows. Inhale, lift the elbows up a smidge, another inch or two or three, depending on what feels good to you. Exhale, round your elbows into your belly, drop your head and release and enjoy. Notice how this feels, breathing into the back body, letting the oxygen seep into every nook and cranny. Appreciating every alveoli that's carried you through the year and allowed you to do amazing things. Practice yoga, walk on the beach, climb stairs, all of the things perhaps. If you climbed a mountain, appreciating that, appreciating every alveoli for carrying you there and making it work. Bring your elbows back to shoulder height. Untangle your arms, press them into the side walls once again. Pinch your scapula, spread your fingers wide. Enjoy that aliveness. Release. Wrap your arms in the opposite direction, left elbow under right, crossing them, palms face you, palms come together, thumbs come together, whatever works for your body. Shoulders come to shoulder height and pause, taking a moment to appreciate the shoulders and the scapula and all the things they've carried. Perhaps children they've carried, boxes they've carried, people they've helped, suitcases they've carried. Inhale, lift your elbows up an inch. Exhale, drop them to shoulder height. Inhale, lift them up an inch. Exhale to shoulder height. Press the elbows out in opposite directions against each other, resisting, and enjoy the sensations in the back of the scapula. A moment to acknowledge some of the hard things that you've done, some of the tense things, some of the things that didn't feel so great, but maybe felt amazing afterwards. Appreciating yourself for those, appreciating how far you came, what you accomplished. Relax your elbows. Inhale, lift the elbows up an inch. Exhale, round forward, coming into a forward pose with the eagle arms, head and neck release. Breathing in appreciation and kindness into every cell in the back body and every alveoli that pops up here, perhaps into the upper arms and the shoulders. Bathing every muscle fiber with breath. Exhale, let it go. One more breath. Bring your elbows up to shoulder height, untangle your arms, stretch them wide and lower them down. Roll your shoulders in whatever way feels good. You might want to even try alternating, have a little fun with it. Maybe bring your hands clasped in front, stretch the back body, your belly back, release. And we'll take the block or bolster that you may be sitting on out if you have one. If you're on a blanket, you may want to keep it. And we're going to stretch our legs wide. If you have tight hamstrings, a blanket under your hips can be helpful. Legs will come into wide angle pose and find a wide angle that works for you. Your toes should be in line with your knees. Your ankles are flexed, heels pressed towards the outer wall, and you have a nice V between your legs, a triangle. Bring your hands, drop them behind you in little tents, like you have a cupcake underneath and you don't want to squish to the frosting. Press your fingers into the floor, shoulders down and back, pick up your hips and slide them forward an inch or so. Engage your belly and lower down onto those ischial spines. Your pelvis is rolled forward and your chest, once again, heart puffing forward, which for many of us is a little uncomfortable. Breathe into the spot behind the heart, popping open here. And exhale, release, and exhale. Taking a moment here to connect with that pride, knowing that for many of us, it's uncomfortable with the heart open. What we practice grows, and we can practice feeling proud, practice celebrating, practice ending well, appreciating how far we've come. Spread your toes wide, wide, wide here and enjoy the energy. And for many of you, perhaps you couldn't spread your toes when you began coming to yoga. And notice how far your toes have come with appreciation. And relax your toes. Relax your hands. Engage your belly. Sit up tall on your sit bones. So if your spine is rolled, stack your spine, sit up tall. Reach both arms up towards the sky. Reach your fingertips tall, tall, tall towards the sky. Lower your right hand, slide it down the right leg towards your toes. Ankle is flexed, left hip grounds into the earth. Stretch the left arm towards the right toes. Wiggle the fingers as you do. Lightness. And taking a moment here to notice how you feel. Notice the top of the right waist, sending it love. Appreciating all the things that you've perhaps balanced on your hip along the way. If you're a mom with toddlers, you probably balanced many a child on those hips. And if not this year, perhaps other years, but appreciating all that those hips do for us. We often talk in yoga about the tightness they carry, but they're also incredibly useful and helpful and wonderful. Sending them breath into the top of the waist and the hips. Exhale, if it works for you, gaze over the left shoulder. Slide your right arm up, reach it up towards the sky once again. Exhale, drop your shoulders. Inhale, reach tall, 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 lengthen the side body. Drop your left hand, slide it down the left leg, right hip connects towards the earth, right arm over the right ear with grace, heading towards the left toes. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle your toes, keeping it light. Perhaps spread your toes wide. Take a huge inhale into the outer right ribs and the top of the right waist, sending it love. Send those love handles love. That's funny. Gaze over the right shoulder. Breathe it out. Breathing in that love and appreciation and acknowledgement of how far you've come. Sending it to all the tiny muscle fibers that are open here. Breathe out over the right shoulder if it's accessible for your neck. And if not, do what's kind to your neck. A moment to realize how perhaps you do a much more effective job of doing what's kind to you rather than following everything I say or everything you think you should do. Slide up the left leg, reach both arms up towards the sky, lower them down by your sides. Take your right leg, bend your knee, bring your right foot into the left inner thigh. That makes sense. Your left leg is going to stay where it is. Toes are flexed. Drop your left toes towards the floor. Bring your right hand about 18 inches behind your right hip. Drop your right knee to the earth. Lift up your hips and come up into wild thing. Stretch from the outer edge of the left foot all the way through the left arm. The whole left side body is going to open up here. Breathe into it, right into the armpit area, filling it with breath. Exhale, let it go. I invite you on this inhale to open your left shoulder and gaze upward if it feels good. Reaching the right arm, left arm back, left arm towards the back wall. Breathing in, heart open. Exhale, let it out. If it would feel good, you can drop your left hand, into the right hip crease and roll open a little more, only if it feels good. Stay where it feels good. Reach that left arm towards the sky, lower your right hip towards the floor, coming back to center. Slide your left hand down the left leg, reach your right arm over the right ear in the opposite side, and enjoy the opening. Huge breath in. Exhale, coming back to seated. Bring both feet in front. Your soles of your feet will come together, coming into a butterfly pose, and have a little rock on your sit bones for fun. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward, puff your chest forward, move your elbows out of the way, coming into butterfly pose. Take a huge inhale into your chest. Exhale, lower your knees gently towards the floor wherever they can go. Breathing in appreciation, celebration, acknowledgement of all the work you put in, not the outcomes, but the intention. Exhale, drop your knees a smidge more. Extend your right leg back into the wide angle. Bring your left sole of your foot into the inner thigh. Notice your right toes and line them up with your right knee. Bring your left hand behind your left hip, about 18 inches. Drop your left knee towards the floor, right toes towards the floor. Reach up into wild thing. Stretch the whole right side body. Wiggle your right fingers long, long, long. Outer edge of the right foot grounds into the earth. Breathe into it. And a huge exhale, let it out. Once again, inhale and exhale. Taking a moment here to reflect on those beautiful sunrises and sunsets, and perhaps sunny days in between, all the moments in between. Appreciating the laughter, how those ribs help you laugh. Bathing them with oxygen. Lower your hips, lower your hands. Come back to seated. Slide your right hand down towards the right foot. Reach the left arm over. Open up the left body. Breathe into that for a moment. Exhale, gaze over the left shoulder. Let it out. Bring your left hand back to the floor. Bring the soles of the feet together once again. Come back into butterfly. Have a little rock. Sit bones connect to the earth. Tilt your pelvis forward. Stack your spine. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower your knees towards the floor. Enjoy the opening. Relax your hands. Stretch your legs long in front. Find your sit bones once again. Move the flesh of the seat with love. And notice that if you have any judgment, what if you just let it go? Or if you notice for a moment, whatever you made a mistake about this year, can you just show yourself compassion? Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Engage your belly. Knees will be bent, ankles will be flexed. Exhale, fold towards those beautiful toes. Release your back. Drop the head and neck. And you can lower your knees in whatever way feels good here to release. Deep breath in. Exhale, let it out. One more huge in breath. And exhale, let it out. Slide your hands up your shins to your knees, to your thighs. We're going to sweep our feet around. Come briefly to hands and knees. Walk your hands forward, a handprint. Curl your toes and lift right up into downward dog. Taking a moment here to enjoy downward dog in whatever form it takes for you. Give the dog a walk. Press into your hands, drop your head, your hips reach towards the sky. Perhaps appreciating how downward dog has evolved this year for many of you who come regularly. I imagine it feels different than it did a year ago. Lift up all 10 toes in downward dog. Stretch them wide. You're on the balls of your feet. Lower your toes down. Connect your toes into the earth. Lift up onto the balls of your feet, onto your toes. Heels reach towards the sky. Drop your head and neck towards the floor. Taking a moment here with your sit bones at the apex. Be kind to your wrists, your fingers, your hands, palms pressed downward. Exhale, slowly lower your heels and enjoy what happens for you here. Huge in-breath. And exhale, let it out. Walk your hands back towards your feet.
Coming into a forward fold, you can do a wide stance or a narrow stance, whatever feels good. Knees as bent or straight as feels amazing to you. Lift up all 10 toes again. Spread them wide. Appreciate how much they spread and all the work they've done this year. Lowering your feet down. Shift your weight into your toes. Your hands can be on your elbows, opposite elbow, or towards the floor, whatever feels good for you. Shift your weight into your heels. Shift your weight to the left, to the right. Find your center. Taking a moment here to think about all the times you got off kilter and off center and off track and managed to get on again. How the year is full of that. Huge breath into your chest here in this upside down position. Taking a moment to look back between your legs, shift your perspective. Huge in-breath and out-breath. Release your hands to the floor. Reclasp them at your sacrum. Press your fists towards the sky, elbows towards the sky. Exhale, drop your hands towards the front of the mat. Release your head and neck. And enjoy all the crazy sensations here potentially. Bend one knee straight, the other, gaze towards the straight leg. Switch sides. Come back to center, bend your knees a little more generously and allow your hands to fall towards the front of the mat. Release the head and neck fully. Breathe into any spots of tightness. Appreciating perhaps how much more loose your shoulders are and or all of the things that they have helped you do this year. Sending them appreciation, gratitude, if you wish, kindness. Noticing how far you and they have come together this year. Bring your hands back to your sacrum, run them down the backs of your thighs, engage your belly and roll up inch by inch by inch by inch, slowly like pearls on a string, and arrive standing, giving yourself time, transitioning, ending being upside down well, and beginning standing up well. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Lower your toes towards the earth. Gauge your knees, your thighs, your pelvis. Tuck your pelvis, stack your spine. Heart is light, breathing into your heart space. Exhale, drop your shoulders, open your palms towards the front. Release and let it go. Taking a moment here as a mountain, Tadasana. A moment to pause and appreciate, pause and celebrate. Perhaps to think about who you were a year ago on this day and who you are now. What's different? We often notice what we've missed out on or what we don't have or what we still need to improve, but what's better in your eyes? What have you changed already? What do you have to enjoy that wasn't part of your life? What do you believe about yourself now that you didn't believe before? Taking in a huge in-breath of appreciation. Exhale, let it out. Inhale both arms out and up towards the sky. Slight arch back. Fold forward, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Spine is straight. Rear end sticks out towards the back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale once again for a half lift. Spine straight. Sit bones reach towards the back wall. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands on the earth. Spread your fingers wide. Come into plank pose and pause here. Appreciating your plank. Pausing. Appreciating your body and all that you and it have been through this year. Sending it appreciation, kindness, compassion. Tip forward on your tippy toes. Drop your knees. Untuck your toes. Tuck your elbows in towards you and roll down chaturanga towards the earth. When you arrive, lower your third eye onto the floor. Release your hands and pause for a moment. Connecting that third eye into the floor. And taking a moment to listen and connect to the messages in your head. Giving a moment to see what they are, notice what they are, ask good questions perhaps. What did you accomplish this year? What's different about you now? What great decision did you make this year? Enjoying a moment here lying prone, noticing the parts of you on the earth. This also being a different perspective. Asking those questions again. What did you accomplish? What's different about you now? Inhale, lift up to low cobra. Your heart will shine forward. Crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Back engages. Exhale, lower down. Once again, weight is out of the hands. Inhale for low cobra. Heart shines forward. Exhale, lower down. Bring your hands by your sides. Notice the front of your sit bones on the earth. We're going to come into locust pose. Inhale, lift your head and your feet and your hands up off the floor. Hands can face the sky. Belly is engaged, front of the hips on the earth. Breathing in. Exhale, let it out. One more inhale here in locust pose. Everything engaged, back engaged. Shoulders down and back, fingers reaching towards your toes. Exhale, lower down. If it works for you, bend your knees and bring your ankles and heels towards your butt. You can grab your feet. We're going to come into bow pose. For those of you who wish, if you wish to do locust pose again or wish to rest, do either one. Inhale and exhale. On the inhale, press your feet into your hand, lift your head up. Crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Pull the tops of your feet towards your butt. Breathing in, coming into bow pose and enjoying all the sensations, the opening, heart open here. Exhale, lower down, release everything. Turn your gaze to the left, right ear on the floor. Enjoy. Turn your gaze to the right, left ear on the floor. Pause and enjoy. Bring your chin back to, your forehead back to the floor. Hands at shoulder width, curl your toes. Press up and back into downward dog. If your back wants a child's pose, feel free to go into child's pose first or come straight to downward dog. When you arrive in downward dog, spread your fingers wide, wide, wide. Notice all 10 knuckles pressing into the earth. No cups in the palms, pressing your palms flat to protect your wrists. Lift up onto your tippy toes once again. Reach your sit bones skyward. Exhale, lower your heels and enjoy. Huge inhale. And exhale, let it out. Raise your left leg towards the sky, coming into three-legged dog. Exhale, bring it between your hands. We're going to come up into warrior one. Reach your arms towards the sky. Wiggle the front toes, left front toes forward. Bend your knees so that your knee does not extend beyond your ankle. Reaching your arms towards the sky. Tuck your left hip back, right hip forward. Back foot is pigeon-toed heading towards the right front corner of the mat. Huge inhale, lengthen both side bodies. Exhale, sink into the warrior one. Bend the front knee. Enjoy. Inhale once again, reach tall. Exhale, sink in. Straight the front knee. Bend it. Straight the front knee.
and bend, coming back to warrior one. Pause here a moment. Reach your arms out towards the side walls, reclasp them at the sacrum, press your fists down and back, shoulders down and back, heart pops open. Take a moment here, breathe in, pouring the breath into the back of the heart space. Exhale, sink in a little bit more. One more breath upright here. On the exhale, fold forward towards the front knee, reach your hands towards the sky, coming into humble warrior, if that feels good. If it doesn't, stay upright. Allow your head and neck to relax forward. Reach your palms towards the sky, noticing everything working here. Huge breath in. A moment here to notice how far you've come, perhaps in this pose or somewhere else. Bring your hands back to your hips. Rise upright once again. Bring your hands to heart center, palms together. Huge in-breath with the thumbs pressing into the sternum. Close your eyes for a moment. And just notice with your eyes closed how warrior one feels. Press up on the toe of the back foot. Hop your back foot forward about a foot. Take an inhale. We're going to shift forward into warrior three. Lift up the back foot, engage the left glute, hip forward, raise the right foot wherever it would like to go. Hip height, below hip height. Flex your back right ankle and enjoy. If you wish to spread your arms wide, you can do that by your sides or keep them hand to heart. Neither's better or worse. Inhale, bring that back knee up towards the front, bent at 90 degrees. Your knee will be hip height. Exhale, draw it back towards warrior three. Inhale, bring the right knee forward, a tricky balance pose. Be amused with yourself. Exhale, gracefully reach it back towards warrior three. You can lower it back down, arms reach back up towards the sky for warrior one. Inhale, drinking the breath all the way down through your armpits, all the way into your belly, down through your feet. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach tall once again. Exhale, lower your hands on either side of that left foot, pardon me. Step your right foot back to meet the left foot. Sink your hips down and back, come into chair pose. Hands to heart center. Some of you will want to stretch your arms long. Do what works for you. Lift up all 10 toes. Spread them wide in chair pose. Notice the four corners of your feet ground into the earth. Sink your hips down and back. Legs engaged. Lower your toes down. Lower your hands down. Shoot your hips up and drop your head and neck. Come into a forward fold. Huge in-breath. And out breath. Engage your belly and roll up. Inch by inch by inch by inch by inch. Your head will be the last to rise. Take a minute once again to arrive. Notice how you feel, perhaps all messy. Let yourself settle. End well, begin well. Giving time to the transitions. When you've adjusted, and for each person that will be different, we'll bring our arms down by our sides, reach your arms out and up once again. Slight arch back, fold forward, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift, spine is straight, but sticks out towards the back. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands to the floor and we'll step back directly to downward dog here. Take a moment here to adjust your hips, adjust your hands, walk the dog. Huge in-breath. And a lion's breath, out breath, letting things go. Raise your right leg towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, gently bring it between your hands and we'll rise right up to warrior one on this side. If you tip, enjoy. Hack that right hip back, left hip forward. Notice if you need to wiggle your right toes farther forward to protect your knee and your ankle. Bend the right knee. Deep breath in, down through the arms into the armpits. Exhale, sink in. Back heel presses towards the floor. It may or may not reach. Huge inhale once again. Reaching tall, lengthen both waists and side body. Exhale, bring your arms out towards the sides. Reclasp them at your sacrum. Press your fists towards the floor. Shoulders down and back. Huge breath in and out. Another in breath and out breath. If you wish, on the next exhale, fold forward into humble warrior on the inside of the right knee. Hands reach towards the sky. Head and neck releases. Be kind. Make sure you don't do anything that hurts you. Only do what works for your body. And enjoy everything that works here. Acknowledging and appreciating how far you've come in your yoga practice, in your life. A lot of life is like this humble warrior position where we're in awkward, undignified positions, and yet we figure it out. We grow stronger. Breathing in and out. And notice that it takes practice to grow stronger. We don't get it immediately. Bring your hands to your sacrum. Slowly rise upright. Release the clasp of your hands. Bring your hands to heart center and pause here for a moment. Close your eyes if you can. Noticing that when you close your eyes, the balance is trickier. Acknowledging it, appreciating it, breathing in and out. Let it out. Open eyes, hop the back foot forward a footprint or so. Hop it back a footprint or so. Straight your front knee and bend it. Straight your front knee and bend. And once again, straight that front knee and bend. Now hop that back foot forward. You're going to shift your weight into your front foot. Coming into warrior three, tipping forward, back foot rises up, hip height, and pause. Next, exhale, bring the left knee forward to hip height, 90-degree angle in the knee. Pause. Exhale, tip forward, back into warrior three. Inhale, bring the knee forward. And notice if one side is more challenging than the other. Exhale back to warrior three. Pause here in warrior three to appreciate how far your warrior three has come, whatever it looks like now. We've been doing a lot of them recently. Lower your back foot towards the floor. Reach both arms towards the sky. Lengthen both side bodies, stretch tall. Exhale, drop your shoulders. Once again, inhale, reach tall. Exhale, lower your hands to either side of the right foot. Hop the back foot forward. Engage your belly and roll up slowly, inch by inch. Your head will be the last to rise, taking a moment here. Huge in-breath and out-breath. When you're ready, we will transition to seated. We're going to do double pigeon here as a release. So if anyone doesn't like double pigeon, you can lie on your back and get ready for a figure four, depending on how your body works. For those of you who are going to do double pigeon, take a moment to move the flesh of your seat out of the way. Squeeze your knees closer to hip width. Your right ankle will be in front of the left. And if it works for you, grab that right ankle and bring it atop the left knee, coming into what we call double pigeon. Some of you may want to cross both knees and bring your ankles towards the back, and you'll notice a release in both sides. Either one is fine. This would be cow pose, whichever one works for you. Wherever you are, tilt your pelvic bowl forward, stack your spine. Huge breath into the hips here. Exhale, release. Sitting tall and noticing the tightness and taking a moment to acknowledge and appreciate how far you and your hips have come. We often talk about all we carry there, but for today, appreciate them. Appreciate all that they do functionally, all that they help with, all that they can do, and how far you and they have come in this journey of either yoga or running or sports or traveling or child rearing, all the things. Taking a moment here as we're thinking about our hips to think about relationships, people, friendships, connection. Acknowledging how far we've come with those. What new friends do we have this year that we didn't have last year? More connections, more love. One last breath on this side. And if you're in figure 4, one last breath into the right hip as well. We will open our eyes if they're closed, untangle your legs, stretch them forward if you are in figure 4. If you're seated, you're in figure 4, just bring both hips to the floor and take a moment to reintegrate. If you're seated and you're doing double pigeon, extend your legs long, tilt your pelvis forward, reach both arms towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward into a forward fold, release and integrate, giving yourself a moment to integrate. Huge breath in. You may want to try hinging at the hips and the waist, back flat and your chest puffing forward. Notice how that feels, a little bit different than the forward fold. A little bit more empowered. Notice if it feels good. In either position, stretch your toes wide and enjoy the energy. Enjoy feeling alive, connecting again to what makes you feel alive, moment where you felt the most alive this year, or any moment that you felt alive that you can recollect. Relax your toes, slide your hands up your shins to your knees, to your thighs, and we'll recross our legs in the opposite direction. Left ankle in front of right to begin. Draw your knees into hips width. It's a tight, much more of a tight fold. You'll pick up your left ankle, with the right hand, place it on the right knee. Some of you may want to do cow pose where you pop knee over knee and draw your ankles towards you. Notice what feels good for your hips. We're all different anatomy. It's not that any is better or worse. Some of us have hips that are very stretchy and some of us don't. Wherever you are, tilt your pelvis forward and stack your spine, one vertebrae upon the other, all the way up towards the sky. Chest puffs forward, shoulders down and back. Breathing into that left hip. Thinking once again about relationships, loves, friends, laughter, smiles, connection, even your relationship with yourself. How might that be better or different than it was? What have you discovered this year about yourself, about others? Huge in-breath and out-breath. One more delightful, loving, kind breath into the left hip. And slowly untangle yourself wherever you are. Stretch your legs long, even things out. Bang your knees, move your hips out of the way, bang one knee and then the other. If your legs are extended long, and we'll roll down towards the floor in whatever way feels good. And not even gracefully if you don't feel like it. Draw your knees into your chest and have a little rock. Giving yourself a bit of a hug here, massaging the sacrum. Squeeze your forehead towards your knees in a tight, tight, tight ball. Exhale, lower your feet towards the floor, soles of the feet on the floor. Heels come as close to your hips as you can. Untangle your shoulders if you need, palms on the floor, heels on the floor. Press up into bridge pose. Shimmy your shoulders underneath you a little bit. Reach your hips towards the sky and engage the back body. Knees energetically connect. Heart is light in the chest. Inhale, lift your hips up even higher. Exhale, release. Wiggle your toes about 3 inches farther in front. Lift up all 5 toes on the left foot. Lower them down. If it's available to you, press your palms into the earth, forearms into the earth. Raise your right knee up to 90 degrees. Extend your heel towards the sky. Point your toes towards your nose. Your left hip is very engaged here. Point your toe towards the sky. Bend your knee and lower the right foot down. Huge in-breath, reorganize your hips. Reach your hips towards the sky, both hips equally. Exhale, release. Lift up 5 toes on the right foot. Lower them down. Engage the right glute. Lift the left foot and knee up. Knee at 90 degrees. Straight your left leg towards the sky. Flex your toes towards your nose. Point your toe towards the sky. Lift your hips up a smidge. Bend your knee. Lower that foot down slowly. Lift up both hips towards the sky once again. A good shimmy of the shoulders underneath. Clasp your hands under your butt if you can, or grab the outer edges of your mat. Tug your hands towards your heels. Lift up. Huge in-breath. Exhale, untangle everything and unroll your spine towards the floor. Arrive and enjoy. Pause here. Appreciate how far you've come in this last hour. Taking a moment to enjoy. Walk your feet to the outer edge of the mat, each to one side. Knock your knees together. Bring your arms over your shoulders into a cactus shape if that works for your shoulders, or a T, or by your sides if it doesn't. Inhale right into the spot behind the sternum. Exhale, drop your knees to the right. They're going to splay out on either side. Left knee is going to connect to the front right corner of the mat. 5 deep breaths here. Breathe into that left psoas, left hip, into your shoulders if they need it. If you wish, gaze to the left. Bring your gaze back to center. Bring your knees back to center. Knock them back together again. Reorganize your shoulders. Once again, end well to begin well. Even things out. Inhale into the spot behind the sternum. Sending the breath to all the edges of the heart. Exhale, drop your knees to the left this time. Right knee presses towards the front left corner of the mat. Right psoas opens up. Front of the right hip opens up. If you wish, you can gaze to the right. Bring your gaze back to center and your knees back to center. Even your hips out. Bring your arms down by your waist. Flip your palms open towards the sky. Stretch your legs long in front and allow your toes to fall towards the outer edge of the mat. Taking it an inhale, squeeze your hands, squeeze your butt, squeeze your feet, lift everything up, head and neck, lift up off the floor, everything engaged, tight, 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 huge inhale. Exhale, release everything, land on the mat and arrive here for Shavasana. Perhaps a minimalist Shavasana today with less props, unless you need them for comfort. Taking a moment here to land, to settle, to let your breath begin to breathe on its own. Let the earth cradle and hold you. Taking a few moments here for a pause to end well, to integrate. That's what Shavasana is all about, ending well, absorbing, appreciating, allowing all the work to feel good. My invitation is to allow that here now, and perhaps for the day as well. A few moments to enjoy and to end well. For those of you who want to end well longer, feel free to stay in Shavasana. It's the beauty of Zoom yoga. For those of you who wish to move on, gently deepen your breath. Slowly wiggle fingers and toes. Take in a big, deep cleansing inhale and an exhale. If you want, stretch your arms above and toes in front and take another big inhale. Do what feels good to you. A huge exhale. And a moment to roll over onto one side. Another act of ending well that's part of the yoga tradition. That might be a beautiful way to end each day well, end each visit well, end each meal well. What would it look like to end well this year? What might it look like to notice how far you've come? How did it feel to notice how far you come? And might that be a practice you'd like to add in more of? When you're ready, Press into your hands and slowly come up to a comfortable seat where we began. Find your sit bones, reconnect them into the earth, and bring a hand heart and another hand atop. A practice of ending well that I choose often. Taking a moment to appreciate yourself. Notice how far you have come. Acknowledging and appreciating all that you do, all that you have done, all the change you've made, the love you've felt, the smiles, the laughter, the travel of the trees, the sunrises, the sunsets. For many of you, lives saved, children fed, whatever it is, taking a moment to appreciate all of it. Acknowledge all of it. Celebrate all of it before you move on. Bring your hands to heart center. Thumbs press into your sternum, finger pads touch. Reach the fingertips towards the sky, elbows out wide. Take in an inhale. A huge exhale. May you all be well. May you all be loved. May you all pause and appreciate, pause and celebrate, pause and allow today. May you celebrate how far you've come. May you end well and move forward and begin well tomorrow. Happy New Year.